Guys, it is that time of the week where we have to go over 3 unbelievably oversold stocks that I'm looking at right now in the stock market. We're going to break down some charts, some fundamentals, my plans with these stocks, and at the end of the video, if you guys stick on throughout, we're going to go over some bonus ones as well. So sit back, relax, hit the like button, subscribe, check out my Patreon if you want all my buys, sells, call outs, morning update videos, plus more, and you all can get 50 free bucks from M1 Finance and 2 stocks from Webull up to $1,600. All of those are linked down below. And with that being said, let's get into it. So it's currently 10:30 a.m. on the East Coast, and the markets, they're not moving a big, in a big way in either direction. We have the S&P up 0.1%. We have the Dow up roughly the same. We have the NASDAQ 100 down barely. It's down 0.03%. And we have the Russell being the only one making, I guess you can say, a substantial move. It is up 0.5%. So at this point in time, I feel like the markets are trying to digest the big move that we just saw in the past day, 2 days of trading. If you guys recall, SPY's gone from 448 all the way back to over 470 in just 2-3 days of trading. I mean, Triple Q went from, let's see here, 378 to almost 400. So these have made big moves. And at this point in time, we're simply cooling off a little bit. We're consolidating. We're seeing a little bit of a pullback, from the pre-market highs on Triple Q. Those were at about 400. Now we're at 397. SPY went from pre-market 471. Now we're at 476. So we're just digesting this big move. We're pulling back a little bit, consolidating, and that's kind of what I'm seeing here as we're only an hour into the session. And when you guys are actually watching this video, we're going to be multiple hours into the session, and I'd love to know, your thoughts on the markets. As always, drop me a comment. Make sure to hit the like button. And, the VIX is down 1%, so we are seeing volatility continue to die down here. The metals are also down. We have silver down about 0.5%. Gold's down 0.1%. And yeah, that's kind of what we're seeing right now. Just the markets digesting what we saw recently, kind of consolidating. So I'd love to know your thoughts down below in the comments. And with that being said, let's talk about some stocks. And remember, stay on throughout the video because we're going to go over some bonus ones at the end. So number one is the healthcare giant Johnson & Johnson, ticker symbol JNJ. They currently have a market cap of $430 billion, 2.6% dividend yield, and the PE, although it's still a little bit high for my liking, it's a 24. I think that's a little bit under what the overall markets in terms of the S&P 500's PE is, and I still think it's a bit too high. I think if I were to buy J&J as a long-term investment, I would love to see the PE anywhere from 15 to 17, but at this point in time, I'm not looking at it as a long-term play. I'm kind of looking at it more as a multi-month swing trade, and the charts here will show you that. If I pull up the 3-year, you guys can see, and I've pointed this out before, but it's been a while since we've talked about it. If you guys take a look, we're towards, as of now, the bottom of this channel that we've been in pretty much for 2.5 years, and you guys can see we're about $16 off the recent all-time high, which was hit back, when was this? Middle of August at about 180, so we're about 10% off those highs. In other words, we're almost in correction territory, and it seems like as of now, the past, month and a half, J&J's been finding a bottom at about 155, 160. We're seeing some nice support around here. We've been pretty choppy around this area, admittedly, but now that we saw a big move recently in the overall markets, that's brought J&J right back up from that 155 low it just hit. Now we're trading above the moving averages, both the 50 and the 180 and the EMA here on the 4-hour chart now that I'm looking at it. So this is a very good sign overall that there is a reversal beginning, right? Keyword there is beginning. It's not for sure going to be breaking out. We're not there yet, but if we do start breaking 165 again, now that we're beginning this rally, that could be a sign that now we're breaking out, right? So keep your eyes on J&J And another one that I'm looking at here, which is admittedly way more risky than J&J, but it's also down a lot more than J&J, it is Golden Nugget Online Gaming. We haven't talked about this in a couple of weeks, probably even a couple of months now that I think about it. This is ticker symbol GNOG, and if you guys recall, just recently, DraftKings acquired, well, it's not really recent anymore, it was about 4 months ago. Time's been flying, guys, time's been flying. But I guess that is kind of still recent, but DraftKings acquired Golden Nugget Online Gaming for an all-stock transaction. In an all-stock transaction that has an implied equity value of approximately $1.56 billion. Their market cap now, since the stock has cut in half and some from $23 now to $11, the market cap is $500 million. So it's cut a lot from where that all-stock transaction, their value, what it was back then, right? And the acquisition will enable DraftKings to leverage Golden Nugget's well-known brand, the iGaming product experience, which GNOG is very good at. That's what they're known for. An existing combined database of more than 5 million customers. And the thing is, guys, recently we've been seeing a transition out of these more speculative growth stocks that have a lot of their earnings drawn out into the future. And that has a lot to do with the Fed right now. The interest rates coming up sooner than expected, potentially. And that's been hitting not only Golden Nugget Online Gaming, but stocks like, DraftKings, which again bought Golden Nugget Online Gaming, other growth stocks like Square, Chewy. A lot of these have been getting just destroyed. And it's because we're seeing that transition, from these stocks maybe to more value, safe-oriented plays. And you got to ask yourself, do you think this will come back in terms of investors and traders out there buying up these dips in the high growth stocks where the earnings are pushed out? If you think that is going to come back, this might be a good opportunity for you. And I personally do think that's going to come back. And I own DraftKings. In fact, I bought more DraftKings at about 27 something. That was last week. And all you guys in my Patreon know that because you get all my moves, right? And GNOG is right on my list to buy as well. Because if you guys also are in my Patreon, you also know this, that I actually was in GNOG for months ago, and I had about a $11.50, $12 average, and I sold it when the DraftKings news came out. I think I sold it at like 18, 19, so I made a good amount of money there. Now we're all the way back down to where I initially bought it, which again is why I'm interested. So stock number 2, which again is more risky but higher reward than J&J, it is Golden Nugget Online Gaming. So stock number 3 is FUBO, which you guys can see FUBO's up 4% as I'm making this video. And we're noticing a nice move above, a nice pop, shall I say, above the bottom of this downwards channel. Now we're fighting with the 50 moving average on the 4-hour chart here, which I think if we break that, we could make a move to the low mid-20s, which is kind of what I'm looking for here. And I probably should set another alert. I have one at 22, but I probably should put one at 19, maybe 1975. And I'm also noticing a bullish divergence on the 4-hour chart here. You guys can see that RSI's been, bottoming out, but this has been going down. Now the stock's been going down. Now we're starting to find some strength here in this up move. So I'm looking at FUBO as a play back to the mid-20s. I think that's where it's going to be headed with time. Could I be wrong? Of course, I've been wrong in the past, but I'm looking at this chart as something that's setting up decently, right? It's not my favorite play, but it's one that I do like, and it's on my watch list. So keep your eyes on these, J&J, GNOG, FUBO. Make sure you guys drop me a comment if you stuck till the end, because we're going to go over some other ones. So you remember now that we just talked about GNOG, you remember how I said we've been seeing a shift out of these growth stocks. At least we have been the past couple of weeks/months. Some stocks have been hit harder than others. We've been seeing a shift out of those, and I think if this continues, now we have to look at the flip side. Where is this money going to go? Well, it's probably going to go into banks. That's one spot. So I'm looking at, these bank stocks. Goldman Sachs, it's down a little bit. It's down about $30 from the recent highs, and we've talked about these recently, right? JP Morgan, I'm looking at. It's about $13 off the highs. I'm also looking at Bank of America. These are a couple that I'm looking at, heading into these next couple of months, because if we see interest rates rise eventually, which probably will happen at some point in the near-term future, that's going to help the banks out, right? So watch out for these. And two other ones, Upwork, we've talked about this before as well. It is just ridiculously oversold. I mean, we hit $65 back in the middle of July. Now we're at 37, down about 40%. And I'm also seeing a bullish divergence on this like I was with FUBO, and we're right by the 50 moving average resistance. If that breaks, there's probably going to be a big move on Upwork, probably back into the 40s, so watch out for it. And the last one is Merck, MRK. Merck's chart is pretty interesting. It hit 92. Now it's at 72. It is down about 21%. It's officially in a bear market. And at this point in time, we are testing a pretty critical support of about $70, $71, which if you guys look on the yearly chart, we held that back in March 2021, April of 2021, June 2021, September 2021, and will it hold again in December? It very well could. We're green on the day. That's why I'm watching it, guys. So overall, that's it. If you all enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe, drop me a comment, and check out my Patreon if you want all my buys, sells, call outs, morning update videos, plus more, and you get more access to me throughout the day. All of that's on Patreon, link down below, or you guys can go to stocksurfest.com/Patreon. Make sure to also get your 2 stocks from Webull up to $1,600 and your 50 free bucks from M1 Finance. All of those are linked down below. I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'll pop one up here. I'll see you there. Thanks for watching as always. Keep crushing the market. Stay safe out there. Peace out, guys.